He got problems, she got problems. Only I got 411 problems. Say hi, what's up, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to a new story time. Welcome to Sorority Rush. I am Angel, Bits of Angel. So let's get into it. Let me see. How do I really want to start this story off to set the scene? Okay, my decision to go to college, it was either college or the military, because I knew I had to do one or the other, and that was pretty much like um kind of literally what our choices was back then. Excuse me, I graduated in 1997. So back then life was beautiful. Life was beautiful from a standpoint. Yes, I went through trauma and all that stuff, but compared to which I have to go through now, life was beautiful. Life was beautiful. We didn't have cell phones, and everything and every moment wasn't caught on the cell phones. As I told my son, because he was like during high school, how high school was horrible, and he was like, if a rumor come out, um, like you have to see yourself on the internet over and over. And I told him, I said, the thing about that is, unless it's like, boys asking for pictures of girls, which y'all in high school don't do that. Don't do that. You can barely do that as an adult. Rob Kardashian proved that, and there's a lot of men who will expose you. Especially when they get mad. Young girls don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. What was I about to say? Oh, so I was telling him, at least y'all have, like, if it's a rumor or something, like something that you're trying to prove that's a lie, y'all had cameras to prove it. We had to ride that bitch out. We had to ride it out. Like, it was my word against them against me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you had to ride it out. If you had no proof, like back then, in order to like somehow get proof or get caught in a lie, you had to put people on three-way, and they started giving like hints when like you had somebody on three-way. In the beginning, like you couldn't tell, like you wouldn't know, but they started where it was like a beep, or the phone would ring like twice if somebody was on the other line, to let people know like it was a three-way call. Other than that, we didn't have no proof. Y'all had proof where it's like this phone you can pull it out in. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, we wasn't as far as competition and looking at each other and how accomplished you were supposed to be, we didn't have that, because the optics now on the internet, and that's a whole different video that I'm gonna do. But anyway, things were different back then, and we actually had a good time. We were actually very excited. Well, I was very excited, even I had put this as a status, excuse me, on my Facebook, and I was like, I'm so glad I did not grow up with camera phones, because there is some things that I did. I'm so glad there is no proof of it. But anyway, the options that we had was either college, military, and then if you were like good with your hands, they did, as we had a college prep track, and then we had a vocational track, which was vocational if you were good with your hands, basically like technical school, which so dudes could go out and get a job, because school ain't for everybody. School wasn't really for me either. Like, I really did not want to do college, but I knew I didn't want to do the military, because I didn't want nobody hollering and screaming in my face, to be totally honest. I wish I would have did Busy Bees route. Is like after my first quarter, because we had quarters then before they changed it into semesters. After my first quarter, I really wish I went to technical school like she did. I really wish I did that, because I hate writing papers. I didn't even, I failed my first quarter. I was partying. Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Sunday. Anyway, yeah, so it was like you're gonna have to do something. And then it was like I had to get out of my mom's house. Also, even if I didn't go to technical school, I wish I went to our junior college. I would have saved so much money. I would have saved so much money because I could have stayed at my mom's house, even though like the house was driving me crazy and how my body react to it, because that's what most of my trauma from the assault. But I could have saved so much money. Oh my God. Anyway, hindsight is 2020. So it was like decision to go to college. So my first experience of visiting a huge university, visiting the campus, was me and Nia. Actually, me and Nia. Actually, my sister had went to. My sister was invited to Andrea's college, Andrea's university, to a step show. And so she was like, you want to go? And and I was like, yeah. So she was like, if you want to go, you can invite a friend. And so I invited Nia, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I invited Nia. Me and Nia, we were excited. We was talking junk because he was like, we going to college, we going to university. We big time. At this point in time, we were in middle school. Baby, what grade were we in? I really think we were in middle school. I think we were like in 8th grade. We had to be in 8th grade, or we had just became freshmen. I know we was bragging big time because we was like, we going to a university. We going to college. We thought we was the ish, honey. Anyway, child. So yeah, so we go to the university and end up like spending the night to go to, because it was homecoming and we went to the step show. Yeah, and because I remember like this one girl before the step show shot, before the step show shot, before the step show. Why I can't talk? Before the step show started, it was this one girl who was walking around and she was hugging everybody. Her hair, she had this long hair, light skin. I think I know who that was. Looking back now, she was hugging everybody, and I was like, why is she hugging everybody? Like, why is she hugging everybody? Like, she's so popular. Like, is she the hoe? And Andrea friends was like, girl, what? Like, I was then. I just started. Yeah, I didn't know concept. Anyway, fast forward. I'm in college now. And well, no, before I got to college, I had seen and heard certain things from like Andrea's experience, right? And so Andrea, some of her experiences, her mom didn't agree with when it came down to extracurricular activities. We'll do that. And so before going to the university, my mom was like, don't do that. Don't do that, because of the things that Andrea's mom was telling my mom that it happened to her for her to get this certain status, right? And I was like, yeah, you probably don't have to worry about me because I don't like nobody hollering in my face, which is why I didn't go to the military. So anyway, once I got on campus, remember I told y'all I got on campus. Where is this? I think this is In Love with the Same Man. I think it's in that series. I got on campus early, like I went during the summer, and I went so I can learn the town, learn the streets, learn the back roads, try to get me a job, and learn the campus. And so I got there early. So when I got there early, like, I was starting to meet people. And before fall quarter had started, like we was having a good time, and campus wasn't completely full anyway. So I wasn't really paying any attention. So once fall quarter started and the campus is completely, like the whole campus is open now and everybody is coming back to school. And then of course, like freshmen, and I'm freshmen, like all of these organizations and all these people are out on the yard. And I'm like, yo, Like college is a whole different experience. It's a whole different experience. So I was like amazed, bewildered, like just like seeing all these organizations, all these different people out about on the yard, and then seeing the fraternities and the sororities out on the yard as well. So during the summer, I had heard like little bits and pieces about certain fraternities and little bits and pieces about certain sororities. And as I told you, I really think that is in Love with the Same Man series. I think. No, I think this part is in the college experience. Yeah, which where the story time will be. Anyway, so yeah, so I people were, people I heard little things or whatever, and people was like, I don't think you want to do that. And I was like, wow, like what's wrong? Like what's going on? Even if, my mom had already told me like don't do it. But once you get there, how like you say something before you're in it. Like it's so easy to say what you would and what I do when you're not in it. So I was like, why? Like they were saying, don't do it, don't do it. And so the first story that they gave me was this certain sorority was underground and they had got in trouble for hazing. And the alleged incident was they had put during the process of, what do you call it? Pledging. During the process of pledging, they had put too many people inside of a truck. And the passenger, it was one person driving, but the rest of the passengers were blindfolded. This is allegedly, because I wasn't there. This is what I was told. The rest of the passengers were blindfolded. And excuse me, unfortunately, what happened is they got into an accident and somebody ended up being hurt very, very badly. So because the vehicle was overcrowded and it ended up flipping. And so they got in trouble. They were no longer on the yard and they were not able supposedly to be able to recruit any new recruits at the point. But rumor was they were underground and they were like, stay away from them. It was another group that was underground because they had got caught. They got caught hazing because one of the pledgees had basically reported them and showed proof of bruises and all that stuff. So it was two people, as far as I know, that were underground supposedly, as far as pledge wise. Like you would see them on the yard, like the people who had already crossed over. You would see them on the yard, but they were no longer able to take new pledges at the time because they were supposed to be like suspended. Like they weren't supposed to be doing that anyway. But supposedly rumor had it they were doing it underground. So it was that story, and then it was the story of the hazing. Like they beat on you, don't like they mess with you mentally. Like you a short girl, you got long hair. They gonna come after you, a cute girl, whatever. They gonna tear you up. They gonna tear you up. And so I was like, oh, okay. So with that, in mind, I was like, well, yeah, nah, I'm good. So anyway, we time goes on and with with them telling me the stories, that kind of put fear in my heart about doing it. And then I wasn't making the grades anyway, and I was no longer interested, especially after I heard like the beat on story. And it was a no for me. It was just a no for me. But anyway, time here went on, and y'all, in the college experience, you hear about, I was about to call her real name. I don't even remember what I named her. You hear about Millie. I don't remember what I named the other girls. Anyway, in the college experience, you hear about, me, Brownie. You hear about the other roommates because I want to call her real name. You hear about Steven. Like you hear about different people. And you also in the college experience hear about Little Mama if you go watch that playlist. So me and Little Mama, like I said, me and Little Mama was cool. And I don't even remember how me and little mama met. We met during the summer, and we met during the summer because we were very, very short. So of course, I think we were like the shortest people during the summer. So, it was like, hey, that's how we became like cool. And then we end up being in the same building when it was time for fall quarter. So we became real, real cool because we started hanging out as well. And then she had hooked me up with Baller. So anytime that I wanted to go see Baller or Baller wanted me to come over, little mama was making things happen because my car was parked in the parking lot way on the other side of town and I wasn't going. And most of the time her, what I won't say, no, that wasn't her roommate. Her friend had her car parked on campus. Like for the life for the life of me, I don't know how she found a parking space all the time, but she always found a parking space. And so she was like, come on, we got to take Angel over here. He gonna pay gas. He gonna pay you gas money or whatever. And so she was like, why I gotta move my car? You know what I'm saying? This was like her friend. It wasn't her roommate or whatever. But anyway, and most of the time when he wanted me to come over, I would go to little mama's room, and she had a roommate before we go to her friend's room, before we go to her homegirl's room. Her roommate, we're gonna call her Adore. No, we're gonna call the roommate Claire. Yeah, we're gonna call the roommate Claire. So Claire was very high class, so to speak. If you watch Dear White People, Claire reminds you of the influencer. I don't remember the girl name, but the influencer on Dear White People. Or if you watch Blackish, she reminds you of the influencer on Blackish, the girl when they went to college. Not Blackish, Grownish. But anyway, Claire was this. We didn't have social media like that, but Claire was name brand everything. Even her dorm, her side of the dorm had to be name brand. She was very unique when it came down to, like, I'm calling her Claire, but when she would pronounce her name or introduce herself, she would say Clary, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like extra, the most. She considered herself to be high class above everybody. But as far as I know, her and Lil Mama was cool. And as far as I know, they got along very well. Right? Okay. So lo and behold, like, I would say I would say 2 months. 2 months out of the blue, all of a sudden, like, they beefing. And little mama was like, most of the time she, you know what I'm saying, she wasn't in her room, she was in her homegirl's room. Or she would come and knock on my door and be like, hey girl, like, I'm just coming to see it, coming to speak or whatever. And come chill out in y'all room for a little while. She was like, I don't want to go in my room because Claire is tripping. Clary is tripping. And I was like, girl, what's going on? And so she was like, I don't know. It's just a lot of back and forth or whatever. Because like me and Lil Mama and her friends would take like trips. We would go to the neighboring city and go to the mall and go shopping and stuff like that. And so she was like, I don't know, girl. Like, she just tripping. There's a bunch of rumors and stuff going around. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to stay clear of it because I can't get kicked out of school. Because if you fight, get kicked out of school. You can't fight on campus. Like, this is not high school where you go to in-school suspension or you get suspended for a few days. Nah, it's goodbye. Like, you supposed to have your adult mentality in play at this point. So, she was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So, little mama's baby daddy was on campus as well. And so, rumors was going around that Clary and Lil Mama's baby daddy was kind of, seeing each other or whatever. And so when she mentioned it, and I was like, is it true? She was like, girl, I don't know. And so she was like, but I don't care. Like, that has nothing to do with me. I don't care nothing about that. Like, I don't know. But it would explain, why she tripping or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's weird. She was like, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And so at this one moment in time, like, No, she hadn't moved it. So we were standing like we were standing in the yard, and yeah, we're standing in the yard. Like outside is literally like outside of our dorm, and then it's like the calf. It's like a space basically where everybody would gather, and we call it the yard outside, like right there outside of our dorm. And so we're standing, in the yard. Me, little mama, um, I don't. Oh, Summer. Summer is my roommate. Me, little mama, Summer, Millie. I don't remember what I named the other girl, but it's like five of us just standing there. And here comes Clary, this girl named Adore, and two other people. And so we're standing there like, talking or whatever. And so Clary was like, little mama, can I talk to you for a minute? And she said it with an attitude. So by the time, I would say like 2 minutes later, little mama friends, they were actually twins. So we just gonna call them twins. The twins walked up. And when the twins walked up, the twins was like just standing on the side, like, just watching. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I guess we really weren't thinking anything of it because Clary was her roommate. You know what I'm saying? And so they didn't go far. Like we're all still like all just standing in a circle. And so we was like, just looking. And so she was like, little mama was like, what's up? And so she was like, I'm really sick and tired, Clary. I'm really sick and tired of you talking behind my back. You're jealous of me. And, you're upset because I'm prettier than you. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Little mama was short, about my height, light skin, cute face. She wasn't thick, but she had a little body. Clary was average 5'2", not that cute in the face to me. Not that cute in the face to me. Her personality was more prominent, which made her a cool person. It wasn't like when you see her, you'd be like, oh my God, like her features stand out as far as her being, pretty. It was like, she was okay. It wasn't like that. Like most of her personality, again, remember I told y'all, like she had like, everything had to be name brand. Everything had to be, top tier. At this point in time, I think Polo was like the biggest thing. Polo and Tommy Hilfiger. So that was the thing for her. Like it was more like, oh, like I'm name brand down. You're jealous. You're jealous of me. So tell me the real reason you are upset about your baby daddy. So that was oh, you really are dating her baby daddy. And so she was like, girl, I don't care about you dating my baby daddy. We co-parents. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, I'm here just to go to school. Like, I don't care about none of that. Though mama said that. I don't care about none of that. She's like, oh, yes, you do. I heard you. I'm tired of you talking about me. I'm tired of you being jealous of me. I'm tired of you when you be in my room, you be eating all my stuff. Like, tell people how broke you are. Tell people how you don't have, you got a low self-esteem. Like, she just started going off. And so Lil Mama was like, girl, what are you talking about? It was like she just flipped. So the twins jumped in and started pulling Lil Mama away. So with Clary, Adore was with Clary. So Adore turned to me. And so she was like, yeah, you with her all the time too. What's up? What's up? And so I was like, girl, because she was, did her hair like this. And Adore was about the same height. Adore is like the same height as me and Lil Mama, literally like the same height. But Lil Mama was fair skin. Adore, I'm more like in the middle, and Adore was kind of chocolatey. And yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave it at that. She was kind of chocolatey or whatever. And so she turned to look at me. She's like, what's up? Because I know that's your girl. What's up? What you want to do? And I was like, girl, you ain't even got nothing to do with this. You just started hanging out with Clary. I ain't never seen you before over there. Move around. Like, move around. So someone was like, oh, it ain't gonna be none of that on my roommate. You might want to back up. And so she was like, oh, y'all do the jumping thing, huh? Y'all do the jumping thing, huh? This is Adore. And we was like, girl, ain't nobody doing no jumping. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Are you dating a baby daddy? Like, if you're not dating a baby daddy, what you talking for? That got to do with them. And that the twins had already pulled on mama away. Cause basically the twins like, nope, you're not getting kicked out of school for this, for this BS. Basically, let's just go get your room changed. Let's go, yes. And so once the twins said that, Clary was like, yes, get out, get the out. Cause I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. And you start getting loud. So now people are paying attention. Cause it's this circle of females. And you can tell like it's drama. And so Adore was like, I promise you don't want none. I said, hey, little girl, you better go on. Because literally, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this don't even have nothing to do with you. This don't even have nothing to do with me. And I was like, the only issue is you cool with Clary all of a sudden with this 24-hour friendship that y'all got going on. And I hang out with Lil Mama. Girl, we don't care none of that. So someone was like, you better go on. Go on. And so she was like, yeah, I'll just walk away because y'all do the jumping thing. Girl, y'all been friends for 24 hours. And I was like, the same way she turned on Little Mama, she gonna turn on you too. Anyway, well, anytime that I saw Adore, like she was making a face. And I was like, girl, I will beat you. Like literally mouthing stuff to each other. Had never really paid attention to the girl. I had seen her around, around campus or whatever, but I had never seen her hanging with Clary like that. She had never been in a room. It was nothing. Like it was like a pop-up. It was like a pop-up friendship. Y'all remember Tracy on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta when she was like, these popcorn hoes. Popcorn video hoes. Girl, it was like a popcorn friendship. Like what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, girl, anytime we would see each other, I was like, girl, I will like mouthing stuff. And so she was like, whatever. So anyway, lo and behold, this one sorority that was supposed to be underground, apparently they were clear. they were clear, so to speak. No, they wasn't clear. As far as they wasn't clear. They were supposed to be underground. Yeah, they were supposed to be underground. But Adore ended up getting sick. Like, really sick. To the point where it was a huge thing going around campus. It was so big. It was so huge. Like, it will make your heart stop. And nobody knew what was what. So, out of the blue, one day, they said Adore, because Adore stayed in a whole different dormitory than I did. They said she was basically complaining about a headache. And before she ended up getting sick, of course, as I stated, her and Clary fell out. So the 24-hour friendship was over. So most of the time, before she ended up getting sick, I would say a good 3 weeks of us, mouthing stuff after the whole little incident. She wasn't saying nothing. She would just hold her head down. And so me, at this point in time, when I was right, I told you so. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this time, I ain't matured. I told you so. So, I had her like, her and Clary had fell out. You and Clary ain't friends no more. Most of the time, you walking by yourself. And so now you walking with your head down. And so it would be like, hey, oh no, don't speak, ho. Because I told you, I said, oh, now you want to be nice because it's, it's around that Clary done flipped on you too. She was like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, girl, don't try to talk to me. We try to warn you, try to tell you that girl wasn't your friend. Let it be. Anyway, so she ended up getting sick. Like, they said she was complaining about a headache. They said she was complaining about a headache all day. And then she had went into her room. And when she went into her room, she had called her mom. And she kept saying, like, how bad her headache was. And so she was like, I don't know what's wrong. I think I'm just going to take some pills. and try to sleep it off and try to go to sleep. And so when she had took the pills, Miss said, she had woke up and the pills didn't work. And she basically was saying like how her head was pounding, like the people were trying to get her to go to the ER. And so she was like, no, I think I'm just gonna take some more pills and and sleep it off or whatever. Um and so she had called her mom after she had took the pills again. Her mom was really trying to get her to go to the ER. And so her mom was like, okay, I'm on my way up there. And so she was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. Like I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go to the ER in the morning. I'm gonna go to the ER in the morning. So literally they said she had, had called her mom, and she was she had called her mom to tell her mom to like call the ambulance, and she was like, call the ambulance, I can't, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like the pain is so bad. And so she was like, well, who's in the room with you? And so she was like, nobody. Like she had stayed in the room, like she didn't have a roommate. So she was in a room by herself. And so she was like, okay, well, go out, like, because we had RAs on each hall. And so she was like, well, go out and, get somebody to knock on your RA's door, to call the ambulance, or because I don't want you to hang up with me. If you feel as bad, I don't want you to hang up with me. And so the mom was like, the phone went silent. And so she was screaming, a door, a door, a door. And she wasn't answering. And so, the mom was like, she had to hang up in order to like call to try to figure out. Like she kept calling, calling, calling. Of course, now like the phone is busy. At this point in time, y'all, we don't have cell phones, so it's not like she could hang up and call her cell phone. We only had one line. So a door went silent because she passed out. And with her passing out on the phone with her mom, it didn't hang up. She didn't hang up. The line is busy. So the mom is she's frantic and trying to figure out like who did she call? Who did she call? So she ended up calling the police. When she called the police, and so she was like, my daughter was on the phone with me and it went silent. She was complaining about her head hurt, and I just want to make sure like she's okay. And I don't know who to call. She was like, when I call her back, when I call her room back, like it's just, it's busy. And so the police was like, ma'am, like you sure, basically, how they asked multiple questions or whatever. So they asked her multiple questions. She's like, no, please, please get somebody there. So the police end up calling, like the front desk to the dorm room. And the front desk end up calling the RA. So the RA went and knocked on her door, knocked on her door, knocked on her door, and nobody was answering. So she was like, nobody's answering. And because you're in college, they were like, we don't want to just walk in. And so the mom was basically, with the police had told the police, like, no, please, check, because I'm telling you that she had been complaining about her head. So, people on the hall was like, yeah, she been complaining about a headache for real. Like, you might just want to check. So the cop was like, well, yeah, let's just check. So when they opened the door, they said a door was on the floor in a pool of blood, and it was like this horrible, horrible smell. And the smell was so bad and so pungent, it messed up the whole hallway. So by the time they opened the door and saw her in a pool of blood, of course, they called emergency services. And unfortunately, Adora had passed away on the phone with her mom. So they said it was a what do you call it? Brain aneurysm. Basically, when a blood vessel pops, and some people, with emergency care getting there in time, some people make it. She unfortunately, because of her headaches, didn't recognize none of the signs and didn't go and get medical attention. She really thought it was just a really bad headache. Yeah, so it was like this huge thing because she was pledging to one of the sororities underground. And she had told her mom And her mom and rumor mills were saying that this certain sorority was the cause of it because they were still doing hazing and they had hit her in the head a couple of times, allegedly. That was rumors, street committees. That has never been confirmed or denied. Well, been confirmed. Of course, it was denied, but it never been confirmed that what was going on. It was proof that they were this certain sorority was underground, right? So yeah, so it was like this huge thing, and um at this point in time, y'all, like, I'm in the choir, and the church that I was attending in the choir, like, that was the church that most everybody was coming to. And so um the pastor at the time called for prayer because it was like this huge thing going on, and it was this huge story that was circulating and going around town about a door, passing away, and they were connecting it to sorority hazing. So he called all the people up who knew her and who were close to her, and I was sitting there going, like, while I'm in the choir stand, like, I felt so bad because it was like this girl was trying to make amends with me, and I was so busy wanting "I told you so," even though I didn't even know why we was beefing, because we had no reason to be beefing anyway. But and I was like, this girl was trying to make amends with me, and I denied her, and now she's not here, and I can't, you know what I'm saying, like, give her that grace. And it was so heavy on me. And so, like, seeing all her friends and all the people that she was cool with for real, crying and not understanding and having so many unanswered questions because it was so instant and it was so quick, and the fact that she was on the phone with her mom, like, it was just so many unanswered questions, and then so many factors that made it very, very sad. And so, of course, the university was basically like, if you are doing underground underground pledging, it you will be kicked out of school. You would, like, because it added to the rumors that was going on. And so anyway, and so, like, I had felt so bad, and so, like, this one particular night, I was like, girl, like, Adora, please forgive me. It was just heavy on me so bad, and I didn't even know that girl like that. And she had came to me in a dream, and so she was like, it's okay, it's okay. I don't even know if it was her or not. It was her face. And so she was like, it's okay, it's okay. Like, it's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you. I had felt so bad, y'all. I really had felt so bad because it was like any time, like death, especially when it's immediate. But even you have empathy and sympathy for people that you see on TV, and you be like, oh my God, I had felt so bad. That thing was bothering me so bad. So bad, because even someone was like, girl, you okay? And I was like, girl, no, like, that girl was like trying to be nice to me, and I'm like, girl, you better get out of my face, just treating her so bad. And I just felt so bad. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't really a scary story, but it was more of, be very, very careful of the things that you do to be accepted into a group. I was watching weeks ago, it's basically almost a month ago, a story on Nightline, and it was called Sorority Rush. It wasn't African American sorority, it was the Caucasian sorority. And how much money they spend. They have sorority coaches that they pay $3,500 to $5,000 to coach them, so these girls can be picked to be in their sorority. And I was like, oh my God. And that's what made me think of the story, because this is not on my story list. That's what made me think of the story. And I had kind of went back and forth in my head and was like, do I want to tell this story because of the ending, like with the dream and her coming to me in a dream and saying, like, it's okay. Because, like, people don't really believe in spirits. So it's more like, girl, you stupid. But I just felt so bad. I felt so bad because it was like, girl, you when you friends with this girl on you ready to fight and ruin your whole career for somebody who didn't pay you, who not gonna pay you any attention within a week or two. And it was literally within a week or two they weren't friends anymore. Yeah. Anyway, just be careful. The whole point of this story is be careful when you're going to college, and you're a freshman and you're trying to fit in and you want to make this great impression on people. Just be yourself. I'm not saying it's easy. Just be yourself. Your body gives you warnings on what doesn't feel good to you, what doesn't feel right. This is not comfortable. Don't feel like you have to do this to be accepted. Sometimes it's cool to be by yourself. You don't have to join in because the door seemed like a cool person. So it was like, girl, you didn't even have to be with Clary and act a fool. Like you could have just literally just been yourself and we probably would have been cool. But yeah, that has, once I saw the sorority rush on Nightline, I was like, and then even the story of the young man in Louisiana and how they took him to a whole different place and was punching people in the chest. It's like every time I hear a story, it's so scary because it's like y'all don't have to do that. Like y'all can come up with that. Let them do y'all laundry. Let them stand in the corner and hold books. Like you don't have to hurt people for them to be accepted into something. Because again, it wasn't confirmed that they did something, but her mom was pushing like the underground sorority did this because they had been beating on her according to the mom street committee, but nobody knows the truth, right? I don't know. Because basically her mom was like, she was healthy. What young child has the brain aneurysm in it? I mean, I don't know, you all. I don't know. I went back and forth of whether I wanted to tell the story or not. Right now, it's making me nervous. I'm folding my hands under this cover right now. Anyway, yeah, I love you the most, sis, because you're definitely the dopest story of life. I'll see y'all in the next one again. My young college girls, even young men, please just be yourself. Don't feel like you have to fit in. Don't feel like you have to hurt yourself to be accepted. Sometimes that's just not for you.